Hi guys, and welcome back to another video. So we're in the back garden and we're actually going to be working on the Ford Fiesta front bumper that we bought from Copart. Absolutely battered, and I'll show you what we're going to be doing right now. So I'll put up on screen now the pictures of the cracks before I had a little crack at them. Pardon the pun. But as you can see here, I've used the plastic welding gun, which I'm going to show you how to use in a sec, because I've got to redo one of the cracks. But as you can see there, crack runs all the way there, and what this does is actually hold it together, ready to basically work on it from the back. But yeah, I'm not really happy with this one. As you can see there, there's a bit of a lip, and if I can bring that lip down, it'll actually require less sort of work with filler and stuff like that. So yeah, we've got 4 cracks. This is my main crack. I think I've done a pretty good job of this one, because it actually runs all the way down to there, all the way up here, around this curve here, and all the way under here. It is awful, this bumper, but we're going to try and save it, guys, and I'm going to show you how we're going to do it. I've just realized we've got a crack under here, so I can show you from start to finish how we're going to do this crack with this welding gun here that I've already plugged in. So this is what it looks like. Got this off of Amazon. Trigger on there, and let me get a pin. So we've actually got an assortment of pins or clips, whatever you want to call them, all different shapes, but they all go into this gun. Let me show you now. I'm going to set this up on the gun. Sorry about all the background noise. Everyone's on barbecues. The weather's gorgeous. But you basically put those 2 pins in the gun there. And then it's not hot. When you click the trigger, it gets hot there. You saw the smoke. And then what you do, I'll put you on the tripod a sec so you can get a good look at what I'm doing. So you're going to use your one hand just to keep the crack in place as best as you want it. And then you're going to get the pin right in the middle of the crack. And then click the trigger. Melt it in so it's just below the surface, and then you're going to hold it there, hand off the trigger, and then let it cool down so you can pull the pins out. Give it a couple of seconds, and then the pins come out just like that. So what we're going to do is just repeat that all along the crack, and just like so, the crack is pretty much back together. So the next step for these cracks is I'm actually going to flip over the bumper. I'm going to use a little tool called a soldering iron, and we're actually going to melt the back and reinforce it with this mesh. So you can get both of these tools pretty inexpensive off of Amazon or eBay. This is different to a soldering iron because it's got different tips on it. And yeah, so 2 basic tools and a heat gun, which I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with that in a minute. You just got to figure out which plastic you're working with. So we've got 2 different plastics. I'm not sure of the names, but as you can see, this black is the same as this black plastic, and then this white plastic. When you melt this plastic, it's exactly the same as the white. So I'm going to use the black on black and white on white. There is a way to check which plastic it is, but it's pretty simple just to check that way. Yeah, so let's crack on. So what I'm going to do is start the back of this one. I've just reinforced the back there just to flatten out the crack. Yeah, what I did was actually just use the snips that were in the box just to take the tabs off. I haven't cut them all off because I may readjust or take them out, because they might all just be temporary. I'm not 100% yet. But yeah, I'll show you what we're going to do now with the soldering iron. Right, so I've cut out my piece of mesh. I'm going to click the button on this soldering iron. Hopefully it's hot enough now. Yeah, it seems hot enough. I'm going to make just give me a bit of something to stick to. Get all the paint off. It's gonna look messy, but it's on the back anyway. do, stick this down and then just hold on to the mesh. And just melt the bumper and the mesh like so. Just hold on to the metal and it should bring the plastic through. And what you're doing is just reinforcing the crack now. So this is where we are at the moment, reinforced on the back, and pulled the pins out using the gun. And all this will need now is a Dremel to sort of take away most of the crack. Oh, there's a beat. Take away the crack and fill it with fresh plastic, and then we'll move on to sort of filler and bodywork. But yeah, I'm gonna crack on with the rest of the cracks, and we'll see what we come up with, guys. Right, so I haven't done a video sort of voice update since I started this project of actually getting this thing ready for paint. So this thing has had a complete makeover. You'll remember from some of the earlier clips, I'm not sure how much I've shown you and how much you've obviously picked up throughout the video. A lot of time lapse has been going on, but this was my hardest sort of bit of body work that I had to do. This kept cracking here, and I just had to rebuild it. But I've got it in a very decent shape at the moment. You can see I've built up the line there to match this line here. And I think I've done really well with what I've worked with. So this has gone through many coats of filler, couple of coats of primer, as you saw in the time lapse. And now what I've done today is I've sanded down all the marks, the deep scratches, with a 400 block, a 400 grit and a block, and then I've gone over it with the DA down there, 600 all over, including the lower valance. I've got the black one over there, but I'm gonna redo that, and I'll rattle can that one. So yeah, everything is perfect, and I've used some red glazing putty just to fill in a few of the pinholes and little imperfections in the bumper. It's not 100%. This is the first sort of bumper I've really put some time into, and I don't have the skills. I'm not qualified. This is just something I've really just tried to learn myself, and I think it's gonna come out really good. As long as I get these coats of paint on properly and I get the lacquer on nicely, I'm sure this will be a really tidy bumper. I hope you're all enjoying the video so far. I know it's a lot of time lapse, but I have put a good 2 full days work into this bumper. Realistically, I should have probably just bought a new bumper, but I really wanted to learn and get the experience on the bodywork and sort of repairing cracks. You'll see the underside of this. I'll show you at the end because I don't want to upset the bumper. It is a bit fragile, I will be honest with you, but I think it'll do us nicely. Yeah, so we're gonna get to spraying, guys. It's so hot today, but I'm gonna give it a go. Yeah, let's go. Our first nightmare. What happened was we don't have water traps on the guns or the compressors, and water was dripping out the end of this connection here, and dripped right on the main sort of bit of the bumper. So I got some water. It's water-based paint, and I quickly washed it off. But yeah, I've run out of time now, and I go back to work, so I'm not going to be able to finish this bumper like I planned, so I may have to rub it all down and spray it again. This is safe, but I'm not sure how many days I can leave it between base coat and lacquer, but I could come up tomorrow after work and quickly give that a once over with some lacquer. But then again, if I mix up a different batch of red, I might just key that up and put the same red as I'm painting both. We'll come up with a plan, but unfortunately I won't be able to finish this video as I wanted, but you'll see what I do in the next clip. But for me it's a couple of days later, so see you in a second, guys. Right guys, it's the next day. As you've seen, this has undergone complete transformation since I last made a clip. I basically sanded it down in some of the time lapses, and I fitted the lower valance back on, so I didn't waste paint on something that you wouldn't see on the underneath. So I just painted the valance and the bumper. So what I did, I sanded it down here where we got the runs, and I sanded it down here where we got the runs as well. And a fly landed right in my paint, and I took out as much as I can, but I'm gonna have to flat and polish him out. I think he's still got a leg in there, but it should look good enough, I think, with a flat and polish all over. But this is some of my best work, I'd say, because the finish on the gun came out pretty good. I put the torch on the actual paint gun itself, so I could just spray, because the lighting isn't amazing in there. And as I was spraying, I had the light just shining on the bumper, and I could see exactly what sort of finish I was getting, and it worked really well. So I'm really happy. Only some of it is a bit peely by there, but I think for the front bumper, I'm just going to probably flat and polish this top bit, and the same again by there. just so that's what the customers are really going to see, or the person buying this is going to see. So yeah, really happy. I just gotta build it up now. So I'm gonna pop the grills in, pop the fog lights in, pop the badge on, and hopefully it'll start looking like a bumper, and then I can put it up. Well, I'll put it up to the car now. The sun isn't shining at the moment, so I can't really see the colour match, but we'll try and see what sort of colour match we got, because I used water-based paint for the bonnet. Oh, I got a bit of bird poo. I need to get that off, because bird poo does eat into the paint, because there's bird lime in the actual well, there's lime in the bird poo, and it'll eat into your lacquer, so I need to get that off ASAP. So I'm going to put this up next to the car now, and we'll see what sort of colour match we got, because this is solvent base and that's water base. So let's have a look. So on camera that looks superb, but in person I feel like I've got a bit more of an orangey tint on the front bumper compared to the wing and the bonnet. The bonnet come out really good colour match compared to the original paint, but I feel this has just a slight tint of sort of an orange. Yeah, that's what I'd say is an orange, but it looks killer and I'm happy. I don't think anyone's really gonna pick up on that colour difference, especially if I give it all a nice polish. Obviously the original paint is quite dirty at the moment, and that's obviously fresh paint. So yeah, what I'm gonna do, build it up, and we'll see how it looks. So we've got the grills in, fog lights and surrounds in, toy cover on. Now for the final touches, guys. So I'm just gonna line that up. I'll put some double sticky tape on the back. And there's 3 clips on the back, which I will pop on. But there she is, guys. Look at that. Compared to what we had at the start of this video, I think that is far beyond acceptable. Look at that. I am so impressed with myself. Just everything. I did everything myself. And look at the finished product. Look at that finished product, guys. That is unreal. When I match it up with a bumper, I've got to do a couple of things. Tweak the headlights and repair this wing, more importantly this wing, because we've got a little crease in there. It's pretty straight. Focus. It's pretty straight from this angle, but I don't want to just do a filler job. I want to actually pop this metal out. So I'm gonna get some actual PDR to try and pull the dent out as much as possible, because I can't get this wing off without taking the whole skirt off, and I'd rather just leave it in situ because it's all lined up nicely. So yeah, we will have this fitted probably in the next episode after I've done that bit of bodywork. But yeah, well impressed with that. Very happy with my handiwork. Let me know what you think in the comment section, guys. I still got to paint the bottom splitter there, but that just needs a bit more bodywork as well. But this is pretty much done in my head. This is pretty much done. And yeah, really impressed with my work, guys. Fair play.